What's going on, buddy?
Not much. What's going on with you?
Jesus, man. I'm trying to survive in this this fucking into the world apocalypse out here in Europe.
Yes. What? How you guys? Do you guys have like a lot of cases out there? I'm really not following it.
Actually, Germany's supposed to be like the best place to be in this whole thing. So that's what's strange. But they got it under control fast enough to where there's not many cases. There's a lot more recovery cases than anything, but they're going even above and beyond, as Germans always do. And they're shutting everything down now until September. And then they're saying that maybe flights won't even go until 21.
Like, so no stores, no nothing?
Stores. So there's grocery stores open up right now, which you have to wait in line, which I think that's kind of everywhere. I think that's even back home in LA. You have to like wait before you go in, or somebody has to come out before you can come in.
Right. Yeah.
They have that kind of thing. And then they were supposed to let stores open today, like little mom and pop coffee shops, things like that. But now they're saying sometime like second week of May. And then restaurants are supposed to be slowly opening, but now that's like maybe not until June. So it's crazy, man. You can have things delivered, but as far as like in dining, absolutely not.
Yeah. No, we haven't had in dining here for I don't know, since middle of March.
Yeah, it's the same here.
Yeah.
Same here. And then obviously like music wise, industry wise, it's been completely shut down. Everything with us.
But I've had this conversation with a bunch of people, and I'll share this information with you because I think it might be beneficial to you. Idiots like me are doing stupid things like this with podcasts. I still need music. As stupid as this sounds, I actually got KJ to give me, I don't know if you watched, I think the last 2 episodes, I think I used a song of his. He shared me a Dropbox or whatever. But there are a lot of, if I was you, I would try to make music, not your Grammy stuff, your other stuff, and then and hit YouTube, because these kids are doing content, and TikTok and all that kind of stuff like that is going nuts. So the music business could potentially, I mean, in your world, because you write and you make, you make music basically. So to me, I think that it would be a benefit for you more than anything. Yes or no?
Production wise, absolutely. Songwriting wise, production wise, even as an artist wise, selling music for different things. Like I actually just had one of my songs for Germany's Next Top Model that they use for like the highlight in the episode. So stuff like that is awesome. But as far as the other part of my work, like the whole creative direction side and music videos, things like that, every artist and that's like the main source of income as of right now, moving to another country, obviously, like to getting my bearings straight and my networking right. So you can't just show up and like, hey, let's hop in studio, build the network first. And by doing that, the industry shut down artist wise hardcore. And then obviously, as you know, I'm not just a producer and a writer. Being an artist myself, like my last show was literally right before this quarantine shit happened. And so as far as that side goes, game over. But yes, as far as you're right, as far as podcasts, things like that, it's taken off like crazy. And I'm actually interested to see how this is going to affect the industry afterwards, because there's been such a push. Like, have you been noticing on IG what Timbaland and Swiss Beats has done with the
Mm-mm.
verses? So this was genius. Timbaland and Swiss Beats got on IG Live, and I think they only had at first like 40,000 people watching, uh, only. But they basically did a call it like a boxing match, right? Like my number one hits versus your number one hits, and we'll go back to back, one on one. But it took off so much that then they got like Ryan Tedder versus Benny Blanco. They got T-Pain versus Lil Jon, and that one had like 400,000 viewers. Like, it's been growing so much that now CNN talked about it, ABC talked about it, and there's just been so many advances with um, I mean, even like what you're saying, as far as how music can be played, because everyone is just online right now, that it's crazy to see where all of this could really potentially start going.
What about um, doing like teaching or choreographing, whatever, via online? Is there any kind of market for that at all?
That's huge. I don't do that. My girl does that, since she's obviously a choreographer. For her, that's massive. She can put on a class on Zoom any day of the week, and she'll have 50 or people more sign up. And obviously, like right now, it's just doing like donation type stuff because of, economically what everybody's going through. But that's huge. Um, she's actually secretly going off to do Dancing with the Stars for Germany right now, which isn't supposed to be allowed, but whatever gets the. But stuff like that, yeah, that's huge for her. But for me, nah, I'm just sticking with music. I did enough dancing in my past. I'm good.
Yeah, right. So let's reverse back a little bit
Right.
to before this massive crash of crap that we're in right now. Actually, I want to reverse back a lot, because you were in that, because we haven't caught up obviously in I don't know, 3 years, but you were in the boy band show, right? What was it?
Yeah.
What is it?
Yeah, boy bands forever. That
Yeah.
brought me up there. Yeah.
And so you did your tour with them one season, then you went back to do a second season. What happened after that second season?
I actually started creative directing more with my partner, and actually that just took up all the time. I took the fan base that tour gave me, and I started releasing my own music, which immensely started taking off. Got an investor that was interested and invested quite a bit of money to get things going. And then each song that I've been doing so far has grossed almost 500,000 in streams. And for somebody like me, that's huge, considering I'm doing everything and funding everything myself, besides the part that the investor did. But creative direction really took off after that show. It really put me in the contacts with the major contacts that the German market has for festivals, music videos, labels. And I just decided, for me, partnering up with her, taking that outlet first would then in turn help my artist stuff later, which it did, because now I'm getting placements with artists on different labels out here for music that I'm writing, and that wouldn't have happened unless obviously I went the creative direction route first. So yeah, following that, it was just straight into producing music videos and TV shows and stuff like that. So
Mainly with mainly with people out in Germany, or are you doing it everywhere, or where's your
now
start?
everywhere. Like, it started out just in Germany first, then it moved to Switzerland, then it actually moved to Tel Aviv. And now we have a London artist that, as soon as this quarantine was over, we're supposed to be shooting it 2 weeks ago, but obviously now we're waiting. But there's a huge music video that we're doing with him that involves the entire LGBTQ community, that's getting a giant push from a London label and from Tel Aviv, and starting to kind of just evolve into every country surrounding Germany, which is great.
And so how are you parlaying that into music? So you're meeting a crap ton of, obviously, labels and all that kind of stuff. So how are you getting music out there?
Managers, labels, booking agencies. And I basically started off with presenting what me and my partner are able to offer visually, whether that's for videos or concerts, TV shows, anything like that. And then parlaying it into, oh, you know what this needs is something like this. And then I'll say, oh, I actually produced something like this for an artist a while ago. So check this out. It can be like this. And then that slowly starts turning the question like, wait a minute, you do what else? And then that turns into, oh, I'm actually a singer as well. But, you know, we don't need to focus on that right now. Divert all the attention away from me, which actually in the end manipulates it all coming back. So, yeah, I mean, it's a killer chess game.
And so before this whole mess came, like I've been asking everybody, especially in this past, month or so of doing these, is like, there was a game plan for 220, although this game plan has now kind of been shit to bed basically. But so after this is done, what's the game plan? What's next?
Always continuing with the creative direction stuff. Obviously it's an easy source of income and we're extremely good at it. But as far as artist wise, the last show that I did, I had enough booking agencies come and I had meetings set up, but obviously this went down. So I'm going to pick those meetings back up. And they're booking agencies here in Germany that put you on festivals and things. So it's getting back to those meetings and seeing for basically pushing everything to 21 and try to book myself in advance for those. But right now I think it's just releasing music. I mean, I've been taking this quarantine thing every day and just being super creative like every musician out there and just see what music we can bring up.
And you're writing a lot for yourself and for others, or just for yourself, or?
The whole beginning of the year, I was writing for other people because I had enough songs and backstock for myself that I wasn't really worried that I had enough material that I could release. But now that I'm still writing for the people, but now this last month and a half has just really been focused on me and things that I've been going through and obviously what troubles this is presenting. So it's just writing with those emotions and moving forward. So I have better material than what I had.
And what kind of stuff are you writing? Poppier stuff, sad stuff, kill yourself stuff? Like what kind of moods are you getting into right now?
Right now, I just went into like the record that I finished yesterday is like super actual R&B, which is I've never really done R&B before like that. But I took the Tamia record Into You and I flipped it and made it my own. So you can get that it's a hint of it, but it was that type of record. Another one that I'm doing, it's more of like an old school Timberland thing, but with a new twist on it. So nothing that's like super poppy. I would say more like contemporary R&B. So it's got a dance vibe still, but yet I don't want to say dance vibe, but you can like groove to it, but yet it's just, yeah, contemporary R&B. I think that's like the best way to put it.
Basically just all kinds of music is what you're trying to say, is broad strokes, basically whatever comes out.
Yeah, for me, contemporary R&B is the general thing for me. For everybody else, I just finished a funk record. I just finished a country record that I sold actually to an artist back home. Yeah, super pop record. The big thing out here is Schlager music. And that's like German folk music, but that would basically, what would that be like? It'd be like 90s share music. Really bad 90s share music. Okay. That's what Schlager music is. At least that's my opinion of it. But now I'm starting to get into that because the market for that is crazy. Like, what's interesting, there's an artist out here named Helena Fisher. And Helena Fisher on Forbes is the 7 most wealthiest woman on the planet who's in music. She actually beat Lady Gaga. Her net worth is something like, I think last year alone, she made 150 million. And she does this Schlager music. Now, what's crazy about that is that music only goes to 3 countries: Germany, Austria, and Switzerland, only German-speaking countries. And she made that much. So that as a market, I've just been studying that like hardcore, because if I can get into that, any connections. And what's great is my girl's kind of like the queen of Schlager. She choreographs for all the like Schlager artists. So if I can musically get into that, game over. People are still buying music for that. So
you guys are obviously quarantining yourself. You're writing music. She's teaching on, Zoom and all that stuff. What else you got? What are you guys doing to buy your time? What else is going on? Aside from actually, I happened to start my TikTok because which is not doing well because I'm not, you know me, I'm not that person anyways. But I came across your TikTok, so I noticed you've been getting very creative with TikTok. Um,
Yeah.
what brought you to? I gotta know what brought you to TikTok.
Um, well, I never considered myself funny whatsoever. And you know this, like we never we never hung out and always be like, Dave's the funny guy. Like it just doesn't happen. But my girl, ever since being with her, she constantly keeps saying like, you don't get it. You're funny when you don't try to be. You're funny. I was like, okay, well, I don't know what the fuck that means, but I'll roll with it. And she's like, you need to just start doing more goofier stuff on your Instagram and just any social media. Just start showing your goofy personality more. And so I went with it on one of these videos. I think it was like 2 weeks ago. I made a beat with all the like things around the house, like a spray bottle, and recorded all these like kitchen, just different utensils around the house, and made this beat called "Wash Your Damn Hands." And then out of nowhere, it got like 10,000 hits, like over 300 comments, and for me, that's great engagement. And then I realized, and I just did really stupid shit in the video. And so then I just started like, maybe this goofy stuff isn't so hard. So then I was like, let me try this TikTok shit. And then actually for me, it's perfect. Like that's the shit that I actually do every day. I just never went out there and promoted that of my personality. So for me, it worked. It's just, all right, I'm a TikToker.
Can you include your own music in your TikToks, or how does that work?
Yeah. Any artist that goes through, whatever distribution company you want to do, I do DistroKid. They automatically submit all of your music to TikTok. So it's just a matter of whatever fan base you can grow, or if you have influence or friends or whatever who can use your song in one of their videos. And then, anybody that uses it, you get, I don't know, something like Spotify, like you get some low ass, 0.3% of a penny or some shit like that. But if enough views hits, then it goes. So just use the distribution company.
But the utensils around the house thing, you just made a song?
Yeah, literally, I picked up a spray bottle. I like tore the napkin, and I just literally started recording all these things around the house, and then put all the stems into Logic, and then I wrote a quick tune over it, and then we just literally used the iPhone and shot footage around the house of us doing really stupid shit, like it was a in-home music video, and then shit just took off.
Oh, so you took your iPhone and recorded. You didn't take the microphone around the whole house, or kind of a situation, or bring the microphone and then imported the stems?
No, I actually took everything into my studio.
Oh, okay.
And then I took the spray bottle in here, like guarded everything, and literally recorded everything in the studio, and then it was there. And now it's great because now I have these freaking sounds, these samples that I have that are like real shit. And I was like, I don't know why I didn't do this before.
You're starting your own little Foley portfolio there where you can start selling noises. So then you take this, you export the stems, and then how do you get the music in? How do you sync the music to your video?
Premiere Pro.
Okay. And then you export it out from Premiere and then to the size that TikTok, and then you can put it up there.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's just a lot of freaking work. I'm sure that one was a lot of work. That's a lot of work for 30 seconds or whatever it is. So
I did 2 of them. It's a minute long, and each one, the response is incredible. And I think I grew like 700 followers in 2 days from it. But, dude, the one took literally like 7 hours of the day to do. And then when I got done with it and posted it, the reward was cool for like 2 hours to see the response. And after that, I was like, I just wasted 7 hours of my day doing this. Like I could have written 2 songs in this amount of time. Like what the hell? And then I got on TikTok and looked at all this, and I'm like, this is all these people do. They literally spend 7 hours a day doing a million videos and editing. And then when you really go see, you see the ones on TikTok where they have the huge circle light, and then the phone sits in the light, and then it sets up, and it's like, these things are becoming productions. This is crazy.
Well, first of all, TikTok was a company called Musical.ly originally. I feel like you and I had this, I forget what that girl's, I want to say her name was like Michelle or something. Was that, she came over to the studio one time.
Michelle.
But she was, maybe it wasn't Michelle. Now I don't even remember. But she was like a huge musically person or something. She was trying to be a musician or artist or whatever. And then, so they took that. But really, TikTok has turned into Vine, really, right? I mean, that's kind of, it just took the place of Vine.
Yeah, it's just a longer, whatever viral thing is trending that week, whatever hashtag is trending that week, that's the video you do. And it's just a 15-second to 60-second version of Vine. You're absolutely right. That's all it is.
And I mean, kind of going back to the Vine world, yes, you can do something in a minute and you're fun, not you personally, but like these kids in, Idaho or whatever can do these things for, for a minute and be funny and all that stuff. But it doesn't, I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Does it transition into anything? I mean, yes, I have 1 million followers on TikTok. It goes nowhere at that point, really.
My friend Josh has literally 1 million followers on TikTok because he was one of the very first artists on Musical.ly to have the account. So he has 1 million followers. He can't get over 300 views on a video with 1 million followers. It literally has nothing to do, I don't think, with your following, like with, well, obviously the engagement of how many people like it and if they are following you, but I don't think that it lasts because he had something with Musical.ly and then whatever that shtick was that gave him those followers, he doesn't do that anymore. So, or at least can't adapt to with the times and changing with what's relevant now. So do I think that shit sticks? Maybe this is my age showing. No, I don't think it sticks, but I don't know. To me, there's no real substance in it. You're doing it for that. You're doing it to give someone a quick 15-second relief of energy or a burst of energy in their endorphins of just laughing at something. And then other than that, what are you going to do in 3 years? You still going to be doing the same TikTok shit in 3 years? It's like capitalize hardcore and make as much money as you can and then figure out what you really want to do with your life. Because to me, there's just no longevity in that.
Are TikTokers, and I do it a little bit. I follow a handful of people, but are they parlaying the sponsorship stuff? I mean, is it the same sort of a thing of Instagram where these people are hawking fit tea and things like that, or?
100%. I think it's just different in that, on Instagram, they're going to say like, wow, I'm glad this, herbal tea is saving my life today. But in TikTok, they're not really showing. It's just like sitting there in the corner while they're doing their funny stuff. And then it's like or they'll do something with it, but not plug it is hard. But sponsorships with that, absolutely. A buddy of mine who's a really big creative director out here, actually, he's from Florida, but he lives here. He's like best friends with the CEO of TikTok. And I guess they're like about to roll out some crazy, especially because of this Corona stuff, they're rolling out some crazy new beta testing mode, but they're using their own influencers that they're doing deals with. So now they're literally, you can get a deal with TikTok as of now, whatever that means. I don't have all the info, but it's something like that.
But how is TikTok how can they do that? How are they making money? Are there ads like Instagram on TikTok?
There are now. It's like when you first get on the app, there's an ad and you can click close in like the right-hand corner or something. But I don't really see ads that much when I'm scrolling through it, just like for fun, looking at stupid shit. But I don't know how they're doing it. And I don't know the full rollout of their plan with it, but I mean, they're literally taking over. I mean, their engagement with TikTok versus Instagram, it's like they just beat them by like 20% or something like that.
Yeah, because no one has enough, what's the word? No one can stand to look at something for more than 15 minutes. I mean, it's kind of like the engagement with now I'm playing the whole, you and I used to play the whole Spotify game and how many plays and spins and all that stuff. But with YouTube, it's the same kind of stuff. I mean, the great thing about what I feel in the past, maybe 8 months to a year has been that YouTube has kind of come back a little bit. It used to be, the Biebers and all that kind of stuff. But now I feel like maybe because they're using YouTube TV now and they're doing production services. So there's a possibility that you could take these things that we're working on and parlay them. But if you watch, my podcast is anywhere from, 45 minutes, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, whatever. I mean, they have to watch a certain amount of it. They can't watch the first 15 or 30 seconds for me, because if they tap out there, then I don't get the credit for the play or the view. So that is kind of what. So it's one of those things where I'm trying to figure out what's the best platform to to make money these days. Because again, you and I talked about Spotify, and you have to do 1 million streams to make $5. So it's
1 million streams gets you $4,000. 1 million streams, you get $4,000, and that's before distribution takes their cut. So whoever's handling your distribution, or that's before, if you are signed to an indie or you have a management that is taking percentages of things. And how hard is it really to get 1 million hits on Spotify? It's actually extremely fucking hard because of how oversaturated it is with so many things. So, and then you've got all these bullshit people that are, selling you on playlisting and what now the catch is, how do you actually get, and really the same goes for YouTube. How do you create an actual engaged listener with playlisting? Because, obviously if you're on a curated Spotify playlist, okay, then that's fine. But the behind the game, if you don't have a major label or anybody financing to get you those curated lists, you're out there like the wild, wild west hunting down different frickin' curators of bullshit playlists. And how do you know that those playlists, even though they have, let's say one playlist has, super cool Monday music, and we've got, 40,000 listeners and we only have 75 songs. But then when you use different sites like Chartmetric or things like that, and you click on the playlist, the engagement of those songs with those listeners is only like 2,000 people. But yet you have a 40,000 and you're charging $150 to put your song up there for 2 weeks in the top 20, not even the top 10. So it's like, it's crazy.
Yes, it's crazy for sure.
Did I stop you on that one there?
Yeah.
Don't say after that. You're like, yeah, that's a shit industry right there. What are we doing? Why are we in this business?
Right? Why are we in this business?
I don't know. I don't know how to do anything else. That's what I've chalked it up to now.
Well, but you're doing your choreography too.
Yeah. I mean, it's all fun and games. What I'm saying, it's like, obviously I'm in this business because I fucking love it, and obviously you have to be nutty to be in it, and I'm definitely nutty. So, it goes hand in hand. So, excuse you.
Yeah, excuse me. It's a Corona. I got it. So where do you think the music business is going? I mean, you're like I said, you're choreographing and you're teaching and you're doing and you're doing creative directing, and so that, I mean, do you see that's where your career's going? I mean, I know you're always going to do music no matter what. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's a passion. You've been doing it since you were fucking 2 years old, and or whatever. What's the how old were you with the Michael Jackson video? I need to get that, by the way. That Michael Jackson video. How old were you?
3.
3?
Yeah, in the diaper doing the moonwalk. Yeah, another diaper and a moonwalk.
So to me, you've been doing it for a long time, so you're never going to give it up. It's just like me and drums. I mean, I have, my storage facility is still filled, and there's probably 12 different drum kits in there. My mom always says, get rid of them. It's not going to happen. It's like, I have the electric drums. I have the real drums. Like, I have kits that are worth, hundreds of not maybe hundreds of thousands, but maybe $20,000. Like, it's not going to happen. I'm not going to get rid of them. It's more of a sentimental more than anything. But so I'm always going to be a drummer at heart, or a musician at heart. But it's like, where do we think the music is going? I mean, I honestly, I kind of, as morbid as it sounds, I was kind of excited that people were being quarantined and things like TikTok were blowing up, and YouTube was blowing up, and Zoom is blowing up, all these places. So people are getting creative. I was kind of hoping that maybe these people who are scoring or, doing source music, or, they need songs for different things. I was kind of hoping that it would parlay itself to doing something like that. That's what my hopes were. And it seems like it is. I mean, a lot of artists, Gaga just did something, I think it was yesterday, I missed it or whatever, where she did musicians on that. I mean, I don't hate that. I mean, aside from the every once in a while where it's like, you know what I mean? The clipping because the internet's bad or whatever. Other than that, like, I don't hate it. I'd rather, me personally, you know how much I hate people. I'd rather sit in my living room and watch, you perform or, you know what I mean? Or anyone perform than actually go into that stadium and sit with a whole bunch of just disgusting Petri dish people. That to me is more important. I'd rather be watching them online. So.
Well, I think it's, I mean, I'm partly with you and I'm partly not. I'm 100% with you on, I was actually really, as morbid as it sounds, excited that I was like, wow, everyone's on quarantine. Now you're actually forced to see who's really talented and who's not, because now you're just stuck in home. So all these real musicians, like one of my favorite one is a guy named JP Sachs, who has a song, oh my God, I can't remember, with Mia Michaels called The World, If the World Was Ending. Beautiful song, but someone like him, he really took this whole thing on a whole nother level and started doing concerts nonstop, and he would go somewhere remote and do a concert in a new location remote, and just like a super acoustic set. Super fun to watch. Now the flip side of that, I'm hoping that the way that the music industry is growing, because everyone's in quarantine, so everyone is just listening to music and doing, watching videos and things like this. But I'm hoping that when this quarantine is done, a part of the creativity and the appreciation stays. However, I'm hoping that it doesn't strictly stay the way it is, because the artist performing and not having that actual energy there, that's rough. I mean, that's the whole reason why we want to do this. It's to be in front of a crowd. As much as you want to sit at home and do that, I don't want to be like, hey, Robert, through the computer, I hope you're enjoying the set this evening. It's like that engagement and that, and the things that happen in shows that aren't meant to happen, but they do that because, the artist starts playing off the energy of the crowd. And you get these special moments with these songs. Like, Gaga used to do that in her show all the time. All of a sudden she started throwing 4 Non-Blondes in there out of nowhere after Born This Way. And it's like, only those things would happen if that crowd is there. So I'm hoping that it's a mixture of it, and I clearly think that, industry wise, business wise in the industry, everyone's going to capitalize way more, obviously, with the internet and this social media thing based on how quarantine is happening now, because now they're looking at it even more so than they already did as a $1 billion industry, going, oh, what we can really do with performances online is just like expanding even more. So hopefully it's all integrated.
Yeah, I mean, I could be sitting there watching Gaga perform in the comfort of my own pajamas in my living room, and then there could be, that ad that flashes up that, go buy Coca-Cola or something like that. So it's
not even that. It's like you have a subscription. So it's like, hey, you want to watch this show and you want to enjoy it from your homes instead of buying a $350 nosebleed ticket, here, pay $20 and you can watch the whole concert from your house. You're still going to have those diehard people that are going to go to the show. But now you just opened up how many more people like, yeah, I'll pay $20 to watch this. Why not? All right. And then throw ads in there, like you said.
Well, yeah, that's the key. It's like, I wouldn't want to go to Gaga's show, but if it was on TV, I potentially would watch it. So you're right. You're kind of killing 2 birds with 1 stone, because those diehards are still going to go to the stadium and watch her for that whole full effect. But the people who are not as a diehard or can't afford, like you said, that couple $100, ticket.
Right.
I'll do the $20 or $40 ticket just to watch her, and that kind of thing.
And then do it a thing like, you can only watch it if you're in a certain radius of a zip code. So it's like, oh, here's a subscription, put in a zip code. See, now we're talking business, and now we need to shut up.
Yeah, right.
And just act. No, that's it.
So where, are you coming back to America? I've talked to your brother recently.
Okay.
He's producing a wonderful reality TV show, which I'm sure you know.
Reality TV show. And he's loving it.
He's loving it because of the people that he's working with, more so than anything. But yes, he definitely loves it.
Yeah.
And so where are you with coming back to America, never coming back to America? You're going to bring up your children in German.
Hell no. I'm definitely moving back home. I told her 3 years and then we'll both be moving back to LA. And so we have one more year after this, but that may be pushed considering this year doesn't really count since you can't do shit. But I don't know, man. I was supposed to go back home 2 weeks ago, and I try to go back at least every couple months, but I really need to go back. My dad is, not to get all depressing on this on this podcast, but my dad's like super, super sick. So I went back to kind of help take care of him and get family stuff in order. And I was supposed to go back 2 weeks ago, and flights are shut down. I mean, right now, if I were to go to America, I'd have to go straight to a hospital to be in quarantine, even though I don't have it, or I'm pretty sure I don't have it. And then then I'd have to go to my dad's, and I'd only be allowed 10 days. And then I'd have to come back to Germany only to spend 2 weeks in a hospital here in quarantine. So I'm literally spending a month of quarantine to only see friends and family for 10 days. And then upon moving back, they're now talking about even suspending flights until 21, any international flights. Right now, you can't fly at all in the country, period. You have to take a train. But now they're talking about opening flights up domestically, but suspending that now even until 21. But for sure, international, 21. Can't do anything.
People are still flying. I mean, you know where we live. I mean, Burbank's not that far away, you know, I mean, and you can still see the planes fly over once in a while. So people are moving. I don't know if they're probably, there is no flights overseas, obviously, but it's just basically back and forth. But yeah, I mean, the train doesn't make any sense either, though. Like,
there's so many things that don't make sense with, like, okay, like, you know, grocery stores, you can only go in one at a time, but yet you've got 100 people standing outside of one, all within, you know, a 7-meter radius. And it's like, well, this is completely ineffective and makes no sense. Right. So why are we just in the store doing this? Like, this is retarded. But whatever, who are we to argue, right? We're just, they make the rules. We're just living in it.
Yeah. But you're going to come out to LA. Well, your trip has been pushed a little bit, a couple of months to kind of get things to go. But let's just say at the end of next 21, you're going to come back out here.
Yeah.
And
it's basically the point that she can, because her career is becoming so successful out here, but she just needs that, to me, a time frame of an extra year before she literally can just live in LA and just fly here and be booked for different gigs. And then for me, obviously, it's building it up enough out here that I can take the momentum that I've built out here and go over there and just start doing it. Because I've already been submitting our show reels and all the different projects that we've been doing, the different artists that we've been working with, and pitching them to different agencies back home, saying, you know, hey, you know, as a production company, in-house everything with camera, doing the movement, the choreography, the editing, everything in-house with the partners that we brought in under the umbrella. You know, this is everything that we have to offer. And I'm slowly getting bites because the projects here are becoming big enough that now it's like, oh shit, you guys are really doing something substantial and creating views. So
are you still working with KJ, or is he still submitting stuff, or?
Not so much anymore. Like, I think him and I just bounce ideas back and forth off of each other. But he's in Burbank now in a studio, actually right up from the house, straight up Vineland, right near the airport. Right, it's like behind there, where that Fry's Electronic is up there. He's in a studio up there, and he's working with some partner that he has named Cody. And I mean, they're killing it. They've had, they got a placement with, not that she's anything big anymore, but she has a fan base and it's still there. Iggy Azalea, the new artist, Javai Ward. He's doing big stuff. So at least he's growing fast enough. But as far as him and I, like, nah, we're just friends and just kind of bounce ideas back and forth. That's about it.
And then I thought that I saw a post that you, not recently, probably a couple months ago, reconnected with our old radio connection.
Yeah, man, actually, he came through for me. Actually, he started a label, which, of course he did, and but he got it picked up through the Orchard, which with the other people that we know is not incredibly hard. However, the contact that he has pushes any song that he brings to it. So he heard my latest single, Love You Out of Style, and offered me a deal to do it. And I negotiated it. I was happy with it, gave him the deal, and they actually put money and started promoting it for me. And I didn't have to spend anything. And so now it's got full promotion and it's still growing, and it's like going on 500,000. So it's, actually, he came through with that. That was pretty cool. And then he has another artist, he's still doing the Billboard stuff. And then I did a remix to be a part of that package with the Day by Day package that's going with that. And that just jumped from that song that I did jumped from number 41 at Billboard, and now it's, I think, at number like 24. So that's, for me, it's, I don't know, it's great. Second song on Billboard. Go me.
So I recently connected back with Andre and that whole crew.
Okay.
Andre is actually, this morning I actually had a conference call with a publicist for him that he's good, because he has a new record that's coming out, or song that's coming out. So so that we're there. I'm not really, you know me, I'm the helper, basically. I keep saying that the reason why I called it Cool, Calm, and Connected is because I'm connected. Maybe not so
Right.
cool and calm, because I'm definitely not fucking calm. But I liked the play on words. I mean, people for years had kind of called me Ray Donovan minus the shooting part of it, because I could just get stuff done.
That would know of, Robert. That would know of.
But and the first year, and I kind of stole it, because the first season of Ray Donovan, that's what they used, Cool, Calm, Connected. So I just took it. I liked it. I thought it was a great play on words for me, and definitely kind of in a nutshell tells people what I do. I mean, I'm basically about just kind of connecting people. So me, people call me consistently, and Andre called me not too long ago. Actually, I reached out to him to see if he would come on and do the podcast. And he said that he had something coming out and he wanted to do it, but it wasn't ready, or he was working on stuff. And then he ended up calling me a couple of days later saying, the reason why I can't do it right now is because I was with a publicist and they just fell flat and I need to kind of move on. So I ended up hooking up with someone who works with Post Malone and a couple other randoms, like the artists like that.
Publicist.
What's that?
A publicist that works with him.
Yeah, it's a publicist manager kind of a person. He's kind of like me, does a lot of stuff, but his starting was with Post Malone. Like, that's kind of what kind of got him into the world.
Good start.
Yeah, right. And so we had a conference call about that this morning and talking about, getting him doing that. So, and then I had some interesting calls from our Billboard friend, introducing me to, because I'm looking for, actually I finally found one. I've been looking for, me, I'm all about women empowerment, which is so weird when I say that, but I'm always like, I have a reality TV show. I'm not reality. Well, I do have a reality TV show, but I also have a scripted TV show that's woman, female writer, female director, female lead, like it's full on. And so I'm always looking for those female to push up and
Right.
to help. And so I was looking for a woman producer, a female producer. And when you say female producer, I'm like, I need someone who does what you do, who gets in, who can do, Logic and Pro Tools and Ableton and make beats and can play. Like, you just can't find it. Most of the artists that we know want to be in front of the camera and on stage and stuff. So I ended up finding one. But I called him because I was looking for that, and he started hooking me up with some of these female DJs that were trying to go into that world. And of 3 or 4, I think one was kind of worth a crap, and I've kind of continued with her. But she's producing, but not really. It's not what I'm still looking for. So I ended up finding someone out of Nashville, actually, who I recently just spoke to yesterday. But that whole thing is kind of hard to do. But he was trying to pitch me that still doing label stuff and Billboard stuff and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, hey, I'm not doing that stuff anymore. Like, if somebody calls me and says, hey man, I need some help, then I will connect them, because I have no problems with that. But as far as like working hand in hand with people, like I can't do it anymore. It's just kind of got to.
It's a job. That's for sure. It's a job. But
and you know, a lot of people that I've, you know, separated from have gone on to do other things and still, you know, still call me for things. You know, I don't, you know, Titus is doing full on TV show now. And I don't know what he's doing music wise or stuff. So
he's coming out. He did, he's calling himself Butterfly Ali. Is his new artist name, and the music's actually killer. It's like a full-on 70s take, but with this like a 70s version of Anderson .Paak, but still in today's times, like still updated sound. Like, it's crazy. The song is phenomenal, but I mean, good for him. He's got that TV show to blast him off with that. That should be a no-brainer.
Well, it's just like Jeremy Renner. I mean, you know, we were musicians a long time ago, and then he became an actor, and now he's going back to doing music again. I mean, once you get to that certain thing, you can I mean, even Jared Leto did it. I mean, he became an actor originally for the music. So, and I applaud that, because, you know, I talk about Johnny Knoxville. I mean, Johnny Knoxville, I feel, is an amazing actor, and and he, you know, years and years ago, he wanted to be an actor, but no one would give him a chance. And someone was like, hey, you want to be on the show that we staple our balls? And he's like, whatever, I'll just parlay it into something. And then he did it, which is great. I thought that was great.
With no shame getting your foot through the door, however you do it.
Right. Totally.
Well, I shouldn't say that, because some things might be too shameful, but anyways.
Are you guys watching TV at all? I like to kind of.
Yeah. We're, well, watching a couple things. It's I went back and I actually started watching Better Call Saul, because I really like Breaking Bad, and obviously since everyone's just pummeling through every show on Netflix, what's left? Better Call Saul, it's cool. I like it. I like the actor a lot, but the show itself, I'm kind of like, eh. But a show that I just recently watched on Amazon that I thought it was brand new, but I guess it's been out for a little bit, maybe since January or the end of last year, but it's called The Boys.
Oh yeah.
You heard about this?
Mm-hmm.
I thought that concept-wise, I thought that was crazy.
Well, you know me, I'm not a fan of the Marvel world at all for other unknown reasons. I like the Boys, and the other one that's good that my friends are producing is Umbrella Academy, which is
haven't seen that one.
That same sort of kind of world where they're not flying. I mean, they have superpowers per se, but it's more about dialogue and acting and stuff. It's actually really good, and that's what I liked about The Boys is that. Yeah, there was a couple little, you know, superhuman kind of things, but it's dialogue and it's actors acting.
And the concept of, to me, I like it because if we actually had superheroes in the world today, how would booking agencies like CAA go about and start manipulating the fuck out of these superheroes for financial gain, and what it would be like? And I'm like, this is exactly how the world would be if they're superheroes. They would not be saving shit. They'd be on Wheaties boxes. They'd be doing these things. They'd be scheduling fight scenes to film and say, look what's happening. Yeah. I'm like, this is genius. So I thought that was a great show. What's another one? Oh my God. If it's complete trash reality TV. Complete trash reality TV. But I think it's great because it's a take on what social media is today in society, and how it manipulates everyone, and how it's an obsession with now in everyday life. It's called The Circle on Netflix, and it's basically Netflix's first competitional reality show where they stick 8 people in an apartment building, and so you and I would go to the circle, and we each have our own apartment. So our own 1 bedroom with kitchen, everything's fully furnished, all that, but they have cameras set up in every single corner of every single room. And there's a TV in every room. And the minute you wake up, you say, "Hey, circle," and the TV opens up. And the only interaction that I have is with you, but through social media of the TV. So all I see is your profile, right? So I'm like, circle, take me to Robert's profile, and boom, your picture will pop up, whatever picture you choose to put up for me to see. So could you see how it's set up? I got super excited explaining this. It's whatever picture you choose. So like, you could not even be a man. You could, or you could say, I'm a man, but I'm going to throw up this picture of Tina, because the whole objective of the game is to be the most popular and the last one left in the circle. So I'm going to throw up Tina because I'm going to make all the guys really love me, you know? So here's this girl. Now me, David, signs up, and I'm like, ooh, circle, who's in the game? Let's meet people. And it's like, all right, Tina shows up. Wow, Tina. Okay. 28. Oh, fitness model from here. Okay. And that's it. And now you don't get to add another picture until you advance further in the game. And the only communication that we have is via voice texting through the TV. That's it. And now it gets even better. Go ahead, ask your question.
I was just gonna say, but if I'm playing Tina, how do I voice message you?
No, it's voice texting. So if I say, you know, how are you doing today? Then it's just the message that pops up.
It's not the actual voice. It's just the texting service.
Right.
Okay.
And it treats it. Think of it as like we're talking through the DM of Instagram, but the only thing that I can see of you is Instagram. So and then they throw twists in there, like at the end of each episode, you're gonna rate, because you're having conversations like this. So it's like, all right, now, and then the circle will talk to you and be like, please sit down. Now, please rate your most favorites from, you know, least to best or whatever. So I'm like, all right, well, I'm putting Tina, you know, number 1, because that girl is, you know, she's sexy. So boom, number 1. Now, whoever is in last place gets booted out of the house. So they're out of the circle. Whoever's in first and second place becomes the social influencer. Now, at the end, they go into a completely different room that's not at their apartment, and they sit down at this dinner table. And when they're looking at a TV, they're looking at the same way, but on the other side, the second place person is now looking at the same TV. And now you and I, so if you and I right now, like imagine this podcast is a dinner table. Now we can't see each other, but all I see is your picture and you see mine, and we're talking, and now it's our job to boot someone out. So who do we want it? But we have to be careful, because you have, you have not rivals, but alliances that will help keep you around. So it's like, it's a real chess game of social media. Super interesting.
And so how do you,
I know.
So basically people get kicked out. They don't tap out, kind of a thing.
No. You're kicked out. But it's crazy, because you as the viewer get to see who these people really are and what they're actually saying in the comfort of their own apartment versus what they're saying to other people. Because the whole job is to be number 1 at the end. It's crazy. It's a crazy concept.
What other shows you're digging?
Lock and Key. Did you see that on Netflix? It's more of a kid's show, but actually even my brother, like, he liked it. It was and you know, he doesn't like anything. It's more of a kids teenage show, but it's still fun and entertaining. It's called Lock and Key. That was cool. Honestly, I went back and started watching like Sons of Anarchy, and shit like that. Like that's an amazing show. Like I'm more about shows that are coming on like that. But yeah, I mean, I'm in the studio every day, man. If I have time to watch a show, it's all we have time for. So once 10 o'clock hits, from 10 to 4 a.m., it's shows. From 4 a.m. to 12, it's sleep. 12 o'clock, wake up, back doing music.
You're up late usually?
Yeah. I don't go to bed till like 4 a.m. almost every night. There's no point. Nothing to do.
Yeah, no, that when I texted you last night or whatever, it was pretty fucking late, and the first part of my text was sorry to send a late text, and you're like, oh yeah, no, I'm here. All right, whatever.
We're working on 2 songs this week, so I was just up late at night working on that. So
Yeah, the TV thing's kind of getting a little bit out of hand, but on Amazon there's that Carnival Row, which I think is freaking great.
that was cool. That was a great show.
And then on Netflix, Peaky Blinders, and they came out with a new season. I
can't get into that show.
Oh my God.
I can't get into it. They keep telling me I have to wait until what's his name finally comes in. Bane. What's his name?
Oh yeah, but he's in like the third season or something like
Yeah.
that. Oh my God.
I can't get that. They're like my brother's all.
Tom Hardy is so phenomenal in that. I mean, he's phenomenal anyways, but he is so good in that show, and he plays a Jew, which I love, and the way he speaks, everything is just so right on. But wait, do you watch Peaky Blinders with the subtitles?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
I can't understand shit if I don't.
Yeah, no, I tell everybody they have to do it that way, but yeah, no, I don't. I mean, Peaky Blinders reminds me of, did you like Sopranos or no?
Yeah, I like Sopranos. I think I like Sopranos more just because it was, I don't know, I think mafia-wise, that's more of my type of shit. Because I love The Godfather, I love all that. But Peaky Blinders, the time period, I just think it's a collaboration of the time period and then also like this whole, like, I don't know. I've literally only watched the first 2 episodes of the first season, and through both of them, I was just like, I don't get it. I just don't understand the obsession with this show.
Every single actor in that show is amazing, like full on amazing. I mean, I get it. You do have to watch a couple episodes because it just like any show though, it takes a couple. I mean, I've never watched. You were just talking about not the Saul. What was before Better Call Saul?
Better Call Saul.
No, before that show. I mean, what was that? The spinoff of?
Oh, Breaking Bad.
Breaking Bad. I couldn't get through the first episode of Breaking Bad. Like I was the same thing. I was on my phone texting within like a few. I couldn't do it.
Ozark.
Oh yes.
Oh man, Ozark. That's the shit. And I'm sorry, the third season was really dry until the we'll just say the brother came along, because I think he is just a phenomenal actor. And then it wasn't mind blowing until the very last 30 seconds of the last episode. And you know what I'm talking about if you saw it.
Yep.
That right there was like, okay, we're back. We're back.
The third season I tapped out at the beginning because it was just kind of or whatever like that. But people kept on telling me just keep going with it, so I did. But yeah, no, that was definitely something that was
mind blowing. Mind blowing.
All right. Well, we've been talking for about an hour or so, but I'm glad we caught up. I definitely wanted to see what was going on, and I figured this way was the best way to kill 2 birds with 1 stone and give you some mini press of my 8 or 9 followers or whatever, so you can see that. And and like I said, the name of the show is Cool, Calm, Connected. So obviously, me. I've always, if you ever need anything or what, there's still, I'll kick out anybody when you're actually. We could give you the main bedroom, I guess, if you two both came back or whatever. So that's if I stay here any longer. But
still living?
Huh?
She's still living there?
Who?
Is she still paying? Well, is she still paying rent?
No, there's a sub in here right now.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is not fun. And yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that on.
Yeah. Yeah. Off air. Yes. 100%.
It'll be an off-air conversation.
Yes.
When I'm back, Starbucks, and we'll have a real catch up.
Yeah, for sure. But it was good seeing you, man, and thank you very much for doing this. I appreciate it. And stay healthy and tell your significant other I say hey, and that I hope she stays healthy and is killing it out there as much as she possibly can. And we need to maybe we should catch up in the next couple of days, via phone or something like that, because I want to find out what's going on with the fam and all that stuff, and see, what's going on there and what I can do. But
what's that?
All right, man. Well, try to stay safe, and I'll talk to you soon.
All right, sounds good, brother.
Later.
Late.